Alright, what's going on, everybody? I believe I've got this set up correctly. Just double checking everything real quick. The downside to not streaming except like once a year is that I tend to forget how everything is set up like every time. What's going on, guys? Mafu says sup. Biscuit says I caught a stream. Yeah, hello. How's it going? Uh, Hi, Trisha. Alright. Okay, I think I'm good to go. If there's anything wrong with the audio, I'm sure people will let me know, but otherwise, I think we're good. Okay, so I am playing a Hexblade Warlock, of course. I kind of already did the intro and character creation. I've done that a million times. Didn't want to spend too much time on stream with it, but I figured what I'd do here is kind of just play through a little bit of the game with the Hexblade, answer some questions, anything anybody wants to ask, I guess, and then just kind of mess around and see what's new. Oh, everybody's saying hello. Lucas says you're not just a voice. Not that I am aware of, at the very least. I'm pretty sure I exist. But, alright, again, just on the beach here, so we're going to get going.
What's inside?
Yeah, I know I stream so random. Lothmore says there's a bit of an echo. I think that's just my room, truth be told. I'm not exactly set up for streaming. Like if the audio's doubled up or something, I might be able to do something about that, but a little bit of an echo might just be the room I'm in. Do I know if they've fixed Enraging Heart Garb? Not off the top of my head. Am I using any mods? Not currently. I actually turned them off because I figured the update might mess some stuff up, so I went ahead and just deactivated all of them.
There must be a settlement.
I do have a few that I normally use, just kind of generally these days, just because they're convenient and I've already kind of done everything else. But at this very moment, no. Do I have a thing for Warlocks? Always playing them in any game, even Neverwinter? Yeah, man. Warlocks are my favorite thing out of D&D, which is probably not a huge surprise if you remember that my favorite Pathfinder class is the Kineticist, which is like their version of what the Warlock was mechanically. Adam says 12 new subclasses. Has this happened twice? I know that, I mean, they announced them forever ago, back in like November, so you might just be remembering that. Arugula says new Boot Goofin. Yeah, I put that in the title. That made me laugh. I'm sure plenty of people have watched Reno 911 and that's where that's from, but they did like an updated photo shoot or something recently and it's just stuck with me because that's who I am as a person. Marathon trilogy review win? Probably not anytime soon. Alright, combat encounter with Intellect Devourers. I'm sure people ask about the difficulty. I'm on custom. I've got the honor mode stuff enabled at the moment, but this, like, the actual difficulty is not honor mode. Any major combat balance changes is in patch 8? Yeah, there were a few. They changed the way things scale with, like, honor mode, as an example. I like Balthazar gets a shield now, some just random little stuff like that. Straylight says, how's it going? You've completed this 100%. Have I played classes and races? Yes, for everything before today. Like the patch 8, I'm obviously not
vicious filth.
Like completely up to date with because it just dropped. But prior to that, yeah. Alright. So, fight with the Intellect Devourers. So what I like to do with Shadowheart is respec her like a lot of people because her Trickster domain sucks. Or at least I'm not a fan of it, I guess I should say. People asking about the Oblivion remake. Yes, I saw all the leaks today. I think it's a little bit of a bummer when I see leaks like that, to be honest with you, especially when the word is that they were supposed to be planning a shadow drop or whatever. I feel like that kind of eats into the surprise, and then, you know, if they know that everybody already knows, then they have to sort of react to that because there goes their plan, and their two options then are basically to drop it immediately, which means they might not be prepared to deal with any problems that arise because that's not what their schedule was planned for, or alternatively, kind of the opposite end of that, they just push it out later because they're like, well, now it's not a surprise, so now it just, you know, might as well take the extra time, you know? Is there a prompt for the build he's going for? Just a basic hexblade, man. We just started, so you'd be able to see pretty much everything. Alright, we've already got our hexed weapon, so we can just curse things and then take a swing at them.
Perhaps our survival isn't such a
Shadowheart
distant
being
prospect.
uncharacteristically reliable. Am I playing RuneScape Dragon Wild? I feel like people have been asking me about that. I want to say I've seen a couple of comments mentioned, but I mean, outside of knowing what RuneScape is, I have no idea what Dragon Wild is. Like an update or something, I assume. Brian Porth says hello. How's it going, man? James says new Boot Goofin. Yeah, it really made me laugh. I figured putting that in the title was a good way to explain to people that it was not a particularly serious stream. Show says it's a new survival game. Is it like a new release, or is it like an update for RuneScape? Because that's kind of what I'm curious about. Is it like a standalone game or something? What's my opinion on Solasta? Like the original one or the second one that they're about to put out? Cracker says, what's up? What's going on? Miner says, is patch 8 live? Yes, it is. Went out earlier today. Alright, I think we grabbed everything. Truth be told, one of the reasons I don't stream very much is so I get super distracted watching the chat, and I find it hard to focus on the actual game, and splitting my attention like that is something I tend to struggle with a little bit. Should I get Solasta DLC halfway through? I mean, most of it's pretty good. The stuff that adds the new campaigns is especially nice, and then they added classes with DLC, I think. Tex says finally getting to see Mort, so you are. For a little while, anyway.
A mind flayer. It's hurt.
Alright.
That thing's bound to be dangerous, even if injured. Just be careful.
Oh, something I know. I should probably mention this since I'm streaming the chat. It seems fine now, but when I initially downloaded the patch, like none of my old saves would load, and then I kind of just exited and cleared some old files and stuff, and that seemed to fix it. But I just, as a tentative maybe problem, that's something to know, I suppose. Good enough says, just started my first BG3 playthrough, having a blast. Good to hear it. It's a great game, honestly. Mooney says, good to see you, Mort. Nice to see you as well. Any new features in the patch other than what we already know? I mean, nothing that wasn't already announced. Crossplay, the photo mode. You hit F9 to activate photo mode, so you can see that pretty much immediately. And then the 12 new subclasses, of course. And you can like click through the options for all that stuff. I have a weird echo going on with the audio. I think that's the room I'm in. I know that was a problem last time I streamed, and I want to say I fixed the double echo, which should ideally be... Because I had, at one point, the audio was a little doubled up on my end. But I think it's just the room I'm in at this point. Actually, you know what? I'm actually pretty sure I know exactly what it is, because I'm an idiot. I forgot to put my headphones on, so what you're probably hearing is some of it coming through the desktop, maybe. Oh, let's see. Alright, this illicit guy. People said it's not the worst echo. Yeah, we'll see how it pans out. It might be that. I have wireless headphones these days that I don't mess around with very often. Which is really funny because I forgot. There it is. Steven, just in time, donated $20. Said, great to finally see you live. Love your videos. Keep it up. I appreciate it, man. That's really kind of you. You should stream more often. People tell me that, but man, I don't know. Streaming kind of stresses me out, if I'm being honest. Trying to split my attention between talking to people and then also focusing on the game is something I tend to struggle with.
You approach the dying monster. This is the thing that abducted you. You could end its life here and now, if only you didn't feel compassion. Compassion.
Okay, well, I tried turning on my headphones, and people said that just made it way worse, so there's that. We'll have to figure that out later. Alright, so obviously don't give in to what the Mind Flayer wants. Underhouse says, like, first time catching a stream, nice. Do I play with mods? Occasionally, not right now. I've got them turned off because of the new patch. Figured that would probably cause problems. Luke Russell says, enjoy your reviews. Enjoy doing it during the morning coffee. Yeah, I get that a lot. So YouTube gives you like this heat map of when most of the people subscribed to you are on YouTube.
You can't move, can't think.
I kind of just do it as that starts.
It's mercifully done for you. It will be a joy to serve, to die for it an honor. It's possessing your mind, forcing you to love it. But then the feeling slips. The creature's mind seems to focus elsewhere. The monster lies exhausted, defeated. Its eyes, wet orange pearls, radiate malice.
Using one of the new subclasses? Yes.
Monster.
Got a hex plate up. Right there. I assume we'll get to it, but here in just a little bit, once we get access to Withers, we can respec Shadowheart probably into Death Domain. Eve H says you're a legend. That's nice of you. I appreciate it. Just a guy playing video games at the end of the day. Alright, we can grab a Starion while we're over here.
Hurry! I've got one of those brain things cornered. There, in the grass. You can kill it, can't you? Like you killed the others? I was hoping for a kind soul. Well, not to worry.
I enjoy being rude to Astarion, to be honest. It's really funny to me. Especially in this intro thing. Can I give a rundown of the Hexblade subclass I'm unfamiliar? Basically, I mean, a lot of it pushes you towards melee with a Warlock, which normally you have to take feats and stuff to do, so they get like medium armor and stuff just straight away out of the gate. And then they get a curse they can put on enemies, which makes hitting them in melee easier. They get like a summon thing later. I think it's level 6 off the top of my head. So stuff like that. Am I doing Arcane Archer? No. Currently, we've got Hexblade at the moment. I might put... somebody else
I
into
saw
Arcane Archer, but our main
ship
character is not.
strutting about whilst I was trapped in that pod. What did you and those tentacled freaks do to me? I'm not an idiot. I saw. Ah!
Your mind twists. You're looking out of unfamiliar eyes, prowling dark, busy streets. You try to hold the memory, but it fades to the worm. The light, the fear.
What was that? What's going on? The worm. Of course. That explains things somewhat. And to think, I was ready to do. Indeed we are. My name's Astarion. Is that so? So, do you turn us? Although, it hasn't happened yet. Wait, that's it. You're doomed, sorry, and then off to the next adventure.
Dialogue response there's really funny to me when you're just like, all right, well, whatever.
Worms are doing something. I can feel it. I need to find out. Good luck.
I should speak up.
Huh.
Can I
Hello
get
again.
3 attacks
Still
with
alive,
Hexblade
I
Paladin
see.
multi-class? I haven't checked yet. I'm not sure.
You know, and all right.
I would assume probably anyway. Who's the best origin character to play as, in my opinion? Honestly, I like Lae'zel the most. I know she's not super popular, at least comparatively, but she's my favorite by far. Do I jam out to any music? Yeah, of course I do. I'm into a little bit of everything. I don't really make too many, like, I'm only into this kind of music type of stuff. If I enjoy it, I'll listen to it. That's pretty much it. Well, it says, hey, Mortem, it's everybody here. Sounds like a lie. I don't think it is everybody here. I think at most, it's maybe 400 people here. I don't know. That changes all the time, so accurate for the moment, I suppose. All right, we got Astarion. He doesn't pick his subclass to level 3, so not much going on with him. We can loot the Harper cache over here near the boat. Grab some thieves' tools in one of these crates. Lufkin says your face isn't how I imagined your face from the sound of your voice. Yeah, I get that a lot, but it is in fact my face, so you know it's kind of old news for me. Draylight says Lae'zel is the best origin to play. She's the one I like to play the most. Again, when you say things like best, everyone's going to have a different opinion on what that is, especially with something really suggestive, or, subjective, I should say. So, to me, I think she's the best one. That one. Oh, that sucks. Super easy lockpick, and of course that's what I managed to mess up. Let's turn that off.
I'll take that.
Astarion, just a bandit who pulled a knife on in my playthrough. Yeah, pretty much. I've done like solo playthroughs and stuff where I just killed everybody. Oh, that was in the patch notes. Sometimes recipes wouldn't unlock if you like picked them up straight into a container or something like that. So that's something I know they fixed. Just randomly popped into my head. All right, and then the. See if we can pass the check to see the cache over here. A wild mortem stream. Curious to see how far Mort gets in this stream. So back towards when the game actually released, I streamed the Jack of all trades achievement, like almost an entire playthrough. Rather than do it the easy way, I went out of my way to do that the hard way so I could stream it. Completed solo honor mode. I have not done solo honor mode. I did do a solo tactician run, and then after I had finished the initial 100% is when they added honor mode, so I just went back and did it regularly. But I've done solo tactician, yes. But that was back before, again, honor mode even existed. I don't really play games these days, but I enjoy your videos still. Well, I appreciate it. I have indeed heard people say that before, which I mean, I always appreciate it. It's not hurting my feelings any.
Dead goblins over there. Worth checking for supplies, maybe.
Metal Skin says, didn't know that alcove was there. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff in this game that's pretty easy to miss. One thing, I'll actually double back and show it to you guys. When I was initially playing this game for the 100%, there was just a random little thing over here that I didn't notice until like my 6th playthrough. Because it just didn't catch my eye. And that's this up here. There's actually a chest over here. Even now I still walk by it, but you saying that reminded me. Don't forget to slap Gale. Of course. Did they patch the bag exploits? I'm not sure. You'd have to be more specific. What's my plan for the build this run? Just Hexblade Warlock right now. Kind of just messing around. Not sure it'll be a full play. I mean, I'll probably continue this on my own at the very least, because this is probably going to be the playthrough for my own enjoyment that I mentioned. But Jackie Daytonis, I just wanted to say thanks for all the awesome work. Can't wait to see new BG3 videos. I appreciate it. That's kind of you. Amthread donated $5 as well. No message, or at least I can't see one, so appreciate it. Just throw it in chat if you did have something to say. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. This chest up here, I don't know what it is, but every time I come through here, I just walk right past this, and it wasn't until like my 6th playthrough I realized that was there. I was just kind of randomly beep-bopping around and then noticed all this. Crispy Melon Pan in the chat using the channel emojis that I honestly kind of forgot about. People don't use them very often, so... Oh no, I think I crashed. Oh, no, there it goes. It just froze up for a few seconds. I think he's fooling us, won't believe that's really his face. I mean... It's gonna make the interview with Doom and id Software that I did with this face a little awkward. Oblivion Remaster leak thoughts. I've seen them. It doesn't tell us anything we didn't already know. Just kind of shows the visuals. Looking likely. Phantom Split says I'm a mod of the subreddit and also never knew about that chest. Yeah, it's super easy to miss. Hey, Onat with a free chat message. And for the context there, he comments, this message is, or this comment is free on most of my videos. It's very incredibly
Approach the sigil on the
consistent.
stone. Magic glitters and swirls from it erratically, as if malfunctioning.
Alright, let's pick up Gale.
A hand?
I don't know why this is.
Anyone?
This is the funniest thing in the world to me. It's just like giving him a high five.
Ow! Perhaps I should have clarified? A helping hand? Anyone?
Nat 20. Gabrek says, that's not you, that's... I mean, I assume IA, but he says IA. That chest is key to hitting level 3 before the goblin fight if you want. Alright, we'll rescue you.
Hello. Magic. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking. You were on the... I was recognized. How about you?
So,
How did you survive before?
I don't know how much this will upset people, but I sacrifice Gale like all the time. The last fight is really long, and it's just so much easier to have Gale blow himself up than deal with it.
Still, back on the ship, you two were on the receiving end of a rather unwelcome insertion in the... No, the insert... It's a process... You don't have...
You seem
Most, no
Ah,
doubt.
well, he can join up.
We're most certainly going to need a heal... Oh, it was an act.
Salutations.
Says bit rate's a little low. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Not much I can do about it, unfortunately. At least not at the moment. Gale would be cool with it. Excuse me. Alright, so... I always like to just go evocation with him, but we've got the new blade singing one. Which helps them also go a little melee if they want. Now, truth be told, I think blade singing's pretty cool. Like, that's a very specific mage archetype you see in a lot of games these days. Personally, I still prefer evocation, which is probably what I'm going to do here generally. But when I make the video about the subclasses, obviously I'll go through it all. Alright, grab magic missile and... guess I'll just grab a shield for the moment. And for his prepared stuff... I think we'll drop grease for magic missile, at least for the moment. Slump Nest Monster donated $5, said thanks you for the content. Have I checked out Chronicles of Myrtana Arkelos? That is the mod for Gothic, right? I have not personally played it, but I am aware of its existence, yes. Alright, hold on, I always like to move everybody's hotbars around, get rid of the icons they don't use. Like, Gale's never going to be shoving anybody because his strength is so low. Put those over here just for convenience sake.
Have a lot on my mind. Well, in it.
I would never blow up Gale.
Can't slow down.
I mean, you know, I've kept him alive for the sake of seeing his, like, in-slides, and, like, you know, not in-slides, but his role in the endings, I guess you should say, especially in the epilogue that they added. I think Gale has really interesting stuff that pops up as part of that epilogue. Alright, now we'll come over here, grab the shovel at that dig spot before we grab Lae'zel. We'll probably swap Shadowheart or maybe Astarion for Lae'zel at the moment. Probably Astarion for the moment.
I hear shouting up ahead.
The build I
We
like
should
to
check
use
it
for
out,
him doesn't really
but be
get
careful.
good until like level 6 or 7, so there's that. Huckleberry Finn says, I bet Mortem is Canadian. Way too nice. Not that I'm aware of. If anything, I live pretty far away from there.
Charmed, I'm sure.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have. Don't waste a
Now
step.
you can run over here, pick up Lae'zel.
Zoru was right. Yellow as a toad and twice as ugly.
The thing's dangerous. Leave it for the goblins to kill.
And if it escapes, how will you... Oh, a guest.
Your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare.
Get rid of them.
As a warlock, this is super easy because of your charisma and deception. But if you fail it, you have to kill these tieflings, which honestly makes me feel kind of bad. Mostly because I know they're refugees and I like tieflings. Mob says new boot goofing. I'm glad people got that. I feel like a significant portion of my audience was of the age that that would have been relevant, but you never know, especially with the internet. William says, just watch Wolfheart FPS died at Intellect Devours on auto mode. Yeah, no, that'll happen. I assume that Intellect Devour fight right as you get off the beach. Like, that's super common. Oh no. We failed it, and I don't have any inspiration.
Demaze, let's
No.
kill them.
Alright.
Your word.
We can't trust her. Her kin nearly got us killed when they attacked the north.
Well, tried to do it the nice way. This patch has transmog. I think. Was there a transmog? Honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember if that was already in there. I don't think it was part of this patch. I don't remember if they added it in an earlier patch or not. I'm not sure. Carl says Reno 911's the GOAT. Yeah, it's really funny. Alright. I want to... We'll try to get the high ground with him, and then I don't think I can sneak attack either of these guys. Wouldn't make a ton of sense. Yeah, I was like, I don't think I'd have height distance from here, so...
Breathe deep and move.
Zach says voice sounds a bit echoey. Might be on. No, I think it is on my end. I forgot to set up my headphones and stuff before I started this properly, and I'm like 90% sure that's what the problem is, but it's a little difficult to deal with it right this moment. Alright, so... That's next. One thing I don't like about fighting these guys is how much they run away from you, because they're both ranged. It's kind of annoying. She's got 3, I think. That might not kill her, but I really don't want to commit 2 bolts to it. There we go, yeah.
I'm ready. Got to press on.
Praetor says the Blade Slinger subclass has a bunch of cool animations. Yeah, I heard they reworked most of the casting animations for the new subclasses for things like the Blade Slinger and stuff, so would not be surprised. That seems like the kind of thing they've done a really good job with.
Step quick.
Gotta start closing this distance.
Still at my feet.
I can get up to him.
Shouldn't have made me your enemy.
Enough talking. Get me down.
Should have better armor than this, but we'll pick it up anyway, just to sell it if nothing else. Mercia says, nice to see the rare Mortismal stream. It literally is like once a year. But I thought it might be fun because of the patch and everything to jump in. Swarm Keeper was such a strange pick to add. I don't know. I think a lot of people like Swarm Keeper. I've never heard anything bad about it per se, anyway. Did I like the game Control? I did. It was a lot of fun.
The tadpole hasn't, but the
Careful. She obviously...
You would sacrifice such tiring mediocrity.
The party's full. You'll need to make room.
Alright, we'll swap her out for a Astarian at the moment.
You've a sharp tongue. Come, a crash.
Action, not reaction.
Get her leveled up, get her action surge. Melee animations are also new. Rapier has a new one. Oh, cool. I hadn't tested all of them out yet by any means. Nice thing about picking her up on the ship is I'll already have her stuff sorted out.
No one's stopped me yet.
I don't know for this playthrough what I'll do, but I really want to try out Arcane Archer because I think that's a cool subclass, but also I just love Battlemaster Fighter. So that's going to be a tough pick for me. Would you enjoy DOS 2 if you hated DOS 1 due to the goofy writing? I mean, it's pretty similar in tone. I mean, like, gameplay-wise and everything, it's much improved, but in terms of writing, I don't think it's that much different. So there's that.
I haven't seen anyone but us. It's just wilderness out
We'll
here.
scare these guys away.
You! Not another step, hear me? Boss! Got company up here!
What? Or is it the ship you're after? Don't matter either way. It's out.
Don't like this.
We're leaving.
It would have been quicker to kill them.
Pretty easy to scare them away. Do I have any pets? Yeah, I have 2 pets. I have a dog and a cat. Both of which are in the living room just chilling right now. Did they add new achievements for the patch 8 classes? I didn't see anything, so I would assume probably not. Sheep says, assuming you heard the news about the Oblivion stuff. Yes, I saw all the leaks that happened today. I wouldn't say much of it's new information, mostly just, you know, everybody kind of already expected it to be real because of everything that had happened up to that point. So, if anything, it's just telling people what they probably already knew. Icarus says, can't wait to finally make a Hexblade Warlock. How am I liking it so far? So far, so good. Haven't gotten too far, obviously, but what I'll do probably tomorrow or Thursday is load up one of my old in-game saves so I can go through like all of the subclasses and like level them up and test them out and stuff before I make my subclass video. I know a lot of people did like the stress test stuff, but I never got around to doing any of that, so I'll have to do it, you know, now, more or less. And that's mostly because I wanted to see the final versions of them, because I knew they were going to respond to feedback. Like, for instance, the Hexblade initially got their second attack just as part of their kit, which is how it works in the game, but they had already changed the pact of the blade to affect that. So it was kind of pointless, and I know they changed something like that as an example. So that kind of thing is the kind of thing I want to catch in that video. I feel like guessing the release dates. I don't know. All the rumors say this month, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, no, not really. Olaf says, thanks for all the good content through the last few years. Good on you for keeping it real. I appreciate it. Tips for a first Wrath of the Righteous build. I made a video that was talking about great beginning builds.
Let's explore.
I'd have to find it. It's been a while, but I have made a video on exactly that before, yeah. Ludwig says you're real hard to hear. I don't know if it sounds like a consistent problem with everybody. I guess I could turn the mic gain up, but you're the first person to mention it, Lud. Any insight for Larian's next game? I sincerely hope that it is a
Wouldn't take much to send that stone
Divinity
crushing
game.
downwards.
Beyond that, who knows? I'm happy to see what they've got going on.
Time to rest. Let's be on my way.
Uriak says, didn't know you streamed as well. Like, maybe once a year. Don't get too excited. It's not a regular occurrence at all. The rare special occasion at best.
Your desire.
I don't think I have any slow fall at the moment, so I guess we'll just have to jump. And I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's a way to avoid that. Why do I still have?
Never a dull
There we go.
moment.
Jeez, it would not click over back to him. How do I get into CRPGs? What should I try first? I've also made a video about that. I made a video talking about a lot of the best places to start, but BG3 is honestly a pretty great place to start. It's very new player friendly. How am I feeling about Owlcat's next game? 700 I just can't wait for the next game. I am excited to see what they do next, but obviously they haven't announced it yet, so who knows? Stream watch per year, we have very little to do, Mortem. Honestly, I just don't like streaming enough to do it often. Like, it's fun to do sometimes, but like doing it every day, I don't see how people do that. Like, it is exhausting to me. You know, it's fun to just kind of hang out with people every once in a while, but the people who do it just all the time,
My path be true.
more energy than I've got. Thank you for your video. Started Rogue Trader recently and knew right where to go for info. I'm glad to hear it. I really liked Rogue Trader. The Void Shadows DLC was fantastic. Arctic Phoenix says, and no, you're going to play Unicorn Overlord until it goes, or unless it goes to PC, which I believe they've stated pretty unequivocally that it won't. But really thinks I would love it. Just from how much people recommend it to me, I would say I would probably agree with that. But as I just mentioned, they were pretty clear that they're not even trying to do that. Any bard builds that are fun to play as? I made a really fun bard build for Astarion specifically. I forget what I named it off the top of my head, but check the Baldur's Gate 3 playlist on the channel, you'd probably find it. But yes, there are some fun bard builds for sure. I got terrible initiative here. Normally what I like to do is immediately blow up that fire barrel when I got this, but these initiative rolls have just been pretty bad.
Of course.
See if I can reach that or not. What is you guys? Yeah, man. See, if you can get a better initiative roll, you can just like come in here and do that immediately, but it looks like the barbarian raged directly into my way.
Ready.
And now he's dead.
Another fight. Let's go.
And of course, nobody else has the fire thing. I probably should have short rested before I came in here so I could have used all of my stuff. Alright, so we'll just make a melee swing on that guy.
Friend.
Olaf donated some money. I didn't leave a message with it, but I appreciate it. Any thoughts on Oath of the Crown versus the existing Oaths? I haven't had much of a chance to look at Oath of the Crown just yet, so unfortunately, not really at the moment, but hoping it's cool. Jack says, love your videos, always fair and constructive. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it. Dancer says there's an echo. Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot to get my headphones and stuff squared away, so I'm pretty sure that's what's causing it. A little late to do anything about it now, to be honest with you, without just doing a bunch of technical crap that you guys would have to sit and wait for, so I don't plan on streaming that long anyway.
Hey, someone's in here.
Pablo says, what's up? First time catching you live. Yeah, it's because I don't stream very often, but nice to see you. That's a good hit.
My path be true.
Kind of bummed out I used action shards already. That would have been good. Winston says, been a big fan for a while. Videos are top tier. Appreciate it. Did I miss anything there? Alright.
Death is but a word away. It shall be done.
Let's end this. On I go.
Of course, it's too far away.
Take you.
What now?
I feel like if I get a bad roll, Lae'zel's probably gonna
Follows me
die.
everywhere.
Am says, first time seeing your face. I appreciate it. Michael says the echo is not unbearable, just for you to want to know. Yeah, it's 100% my fault. I forgot to sort some stuff out before the stream, and like at this point I'd have to spend a couple minutes fixing it while I try to make sure people aren't bored, so, you know, sometimes you just gotta eat the loss and move on, you know? Fading Light says, disappointed to find out Mortismal isn't a skull floating with very large headphones. Unfortunately, I am, in fact, alive. Oh, God.
The lance board is set.
I could hit Torga here, that'd be great. Finally. Just kept missing every one of those rolls.
Need to stay focused.
There we go. That should just be Andorn left in here. I think because I came down that way, nobody will be in this room. Yeah. Patch live already? Yes, it is live. Did I enjoy doing the interview with id Software and Zoom? Yeah, it was a good time. I thought doing something different like that would probably be enjoyable for everybody else, and you know, it's also good to get out of your own box every once in a while. Something that I mean, I would assume it's obvious, but people might not immediately realize when you do YouTube for a living is that, like, I don't leave my house. I don't really talk to people ever. Like, it doesn't come up. Like, I talk to my family, obviously, and like, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't do much else. So it's honestly nice to just get out of the house and have a conversation with people, especially about things you're passionate about every once in a while. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. Playing without Astarion. Yeah, I sent him back to camp for Lae'zel. Don't get me wrong, I like playing with Astarion. I have a build for him that I really enjoy, but it doesn't come online like until later, so I usually leave him out until like Act 2. I think I can
Never a dull moment.
her turn. Take a swing at Andorn. Probably gonna miss because that's terrible. Try to heal so he doesn't. There we go. Do I have a favorite subclass that was added? Hexblade. No, like, it's my favorite thing about D&D 5th edition, so pretty easy. Jimmy said it's okay. We're here to make sure you keep talking to your monitor. Yeah, kinda.
One can't always be a gentleman.
Metin says, Blink if Expedition 33 is great. Well, I think it should be obvious that if I did know anything about that, I can't say anything about that, so I'm not going to.
Let's move.
Alright, we're gonna rest here in just a second, because I'm about out of spell slots, and we'll need them for the fight with, just ahead of Withers there. I'm just gonna start leaving some of this stuff behind, picking up everything because I'm not paying attention at the moment.
It's been a long day. Better stop to rest soon.
I leave Astarion out till Act 2. What do you do with the chest and traps? Most of them are pretty easy, and then, like, you know, worst case scenario, if I need something I need him to get, I can just go get him. But honestly, most of the checks in Act 1 are so low anyway, it's rarely a big deal.
No rest for the wicked, I see.
Looking ahead.
How long have I known there was an Oblivion remaster? I think the first I had ever heard of the Oblivion remaster was when they had that leak with their court documents, like everybody else.
These boots have seen everything.
Who's the best fighter, Karlach or Lae'zel? While seeing how Karlach is a barbarian, I think Lae'zel wins that by default. Which I realize is being intentionally obtuse because I assume that your question was actually which one of them does better in the archetype of a fighter, but that's less fun to say. Wrong bag. There we go. Big Battle says, super nice to see you playing games live. I appreciate it. It was kind of you. I mentioned this in a video like a day or two ago, but I just kind of wanted to do something chill and fun. Because the patch launched, I'm probably not going to like stream the whole thing or anything like that, but I just thought it might be fun to touch base, talk to some people, remind people that I exist. Check out sweet portraits like Fane from DOS 2. There was I usually don't bother with it now, but there was a playthrough early on where I was like, I wonder if you collect all of the picture of the DOS 2 characters, if that like does anything, and the answer is no, not really, but still, you know, that part of your brain that's like, I wonder if they did anything with this. So I just threw them around my camp in one of my mini save games.
No more prayers.
What avenues would I recommend for a casual to dive deeper into understanding D&D mechanics? I just play the game. I mean, there's no better substitute for experience than just experience. Playing more of it is what's going to teach you about it. Like watching videos and doing all that stuff to learn the basics is a great place to start, obviously, but I mean, just play the game for yourself, adjust difficulty, learn on the fly. Why do I hate barbarians? I don't hate barbarians. I just really like Battlemaster fighters, and it's hard to ignore. Genesis donated some money. Apologies, I don't know currencies, unfortunately. Going to sleep, 3 a.m. there in Hungary, but great catching you live after watching your videos for years. Keep the great work. I appreciate it. That's kind of you. It's actually getting kind of late here. It's like 8. Probably going to stream for another hour or so before I got some other stuff to do. I want to play some Daggerfall before I crash for today. Would I still 100% games if it wasn't jobs? Yes, I actually was doing it when it wasn't my job. In fact, a lot of my early reviews were for games I had already 100% because I was like, oh, I'd done a couple of them, and then I did one for, I think it was Pillars 2 that did like crazy well, like hundreds of thousands of views. And I was like, oh my god, is that something people would want to see? And then, so I just kind of latched onto it from there. So to answer your question, yes, because I already was. I know there's never usually anything in these bookcases, but like every once in a while you'll get like scrolls from these. And I compulsively check them. And then there is, yeah, there is. Look, there's that switch for the door somewhere over here. Manny says, sounds like your mic is putting out the voice twice. Yeah, again, that's probably my fault. I'm aware. Unfortunately, it would take a minute to fix it, and I don't really want to spend the time on it. Sometimes you just gotta live with the jank, you know?
Assume nothing. A crypt. What riches might it contain?
You don't like collecting millions of books to clog up your inventory? Not particularly. Especially not at this point. Discovered the channel when I was trying to get into Wrath of the Righteous. Yeah, that sounds about right. Many such cases. Rosso says he doesn't hate Barbarian. He hates the Monk. Monk is like my least favorite class, for sure. All right, we're gonna head to. I think I should have more than enough. We're gonna head to camp real quick. We're gonna do this fight and then probably the one in front of the glade at the very least. So we'll see. Is First Berserker similar to Elden Ring? In the like bare bones sense that they are both Souls-likes, or well, FromSoft just made Elden Ring, so not exactly a Souls-like, but in that regard, yes, they have a similar genre, but one of them's open world and way bigger. First Berserker is more linear and level based. So if anything, I'd say Kazan is more like Neo than anything else. You do have a face. Good to know. So I would like you to believe. For all you guys know, this could be an elaborate test for like one of those VTuber things, but IRL. Alright, I can just talk to... Where is... There it is. I think that's it.
Can't give up now.
Why did it give me a star? That was weird. Why does it give me a star in inventory when I do that? Is that new? Is that new UI? I feel like they used to do that with a side thing. Like, yeah, the camp inventories. Oh, okay, so it just brings it up. That's cool. I don't know when they changed that, but it wasn't like that previously. The chest was just the chest, and then you pushed the button to get all the party's inventory. That's random. JK donated $5. Said, dude, you rule. You've done so much good for the gaming community. Hope you continue to find success. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it. Would maybe be the most expensive VTuber rig of all time if it works that well. I would imagine so. Alright, so we got food, Pokemon. Yeah, this is just the potion. I forget. I want to say this was from like one of the deluxe editions of the game or something. That came with all this, with like the NOS 2 stuff and the potions and the massive shape shifting. I forget exactly where that stuff came from. Put all that there, go talk to Bazel, and then go to bed. Am I ever going to play War Mongrels or 63 Days? I've never heard of 63 Days. I might play War Mongrels eventually. People talk to me about that all the time.
You think to be idle. I knew your kind to be fragile, but I didn't force. Be quick about your rest. We must locate a creche. You would... I do not trust it. Take your rest. Should a single...
Speaking of Neo, have I ever thought about going through the Ninja Gaiden collection? Yeah, actually. They announced, I think it was 4 recently? There was an announcement for that recently, and I was actually considering, like, oh man, do I go through all of that? So yes, I have thought about it. Only problem with the monk is that it actually starts at level 9. I don't know. I just don't enjoy the monk mechanically.
What were you two talking about? I'd be careful with Lae'zel. She's not. Let's hope. You seem reliable. I think you know how important caution is.
All right. And then... Forest. Mr. says, believe you found it during the pre-Wrath of the Righteous release as well. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know how much common knowledge this is, but that's a common enough story because the release of Wrath of the Righteous in combination with, like, COVID and stuff pushing views up is what ultimately did well enough for me to start doing this full-time, so that was a pretty big boost for me. Please do more live streaming. I'm tired to watch tonight, but I think watching would be great. Well, I appreciate it. I'm certainly not going to promise anything. When does embargo lift on Expedition 33? I don't know anything about that, and if I did, I clearly couldn't tell you about it. Doing a Radiant Monk Cleric hybrid, that's fun. Yeah, no, I'm so... I am fully aware the monk is a pretty popular class. I know people like doing fun stuff with it. I've seen the fun stuff people do with it, and I'm happy. Wait, whoa, 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 that's the wrong way.
Trap.
That's the fireball place.
Dangerous than I thought.
Needed to go through this door.
Seems simple enough.
Yeah, no, I know people really like it, but it's just not for me.
A couple turns should do
What
it.
is the dice roll on this? Yeah, it should be fine. You want to make your mic? Come on, I want OBS. Hold on just a second, guys. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I know about the mic. I forgot to set some stuff up before the stream, so unfortunately there's not much I can do about it without troubleshooting a bunch of stuff, which would be a pain, so not super worried about it for today anyway. Am I going to get the Switch 2 for your son? I've been considering it. I kind of want to see how expensive it's going to wind up being first. Hold on, my green screen's messing up behind me here. The darker it gets as the night wears on, because I don't have the light in this room turned on, the green screen starts to go. Mr. says it's amusing that Dragon Age Veilguard did so great. Yeah, a lot of people were just upset about it, so they were watching the video anyway, and that ultimately kind of helped at the end of the day. Berserker Barbarian with Druid or with Battlemaster? I'm just really partial to Battlemaster, personally.
Anything of use?
Armed scribes, but no sign of a struggle.
The bones are intact. Would not scavengers have disturbed them?
There it goes. Green screen stands being a piece of junk. Need to buy a bigger one, to be honest. Just one of those things where I don't stream enough to care much. Is the multi-class better? One way or another. I mean, again, I would just prefer Battlemaster because that's what I prefer to deal with mechanically. But it's been a little while since I looked into it. I know there was the. I know you could combine the Druid and Barbarian to do fun stuff, but off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly how it works, and I'd have to look into it. So hard to say for sure.
In a long abandoned temple. Temptation, old friend. We meet again.
Ring mail.
Never seen a coin like this before.
The air is ripe with magic.
I've got a long road ahead. What path lies before me? Don't give me trouble now.
I feel like we might fail this one. Oh, no, she get it. 2 glass chalices. Worth
Give
it.
it a shot.
This book is far lighter than it should be with such a massive log.
The blogger says, watch your videos all the time, love the content. I appreciate it. Kind of you. Alright, easy enough to open this as a warlock. Unless I roll really badly. This is where you can learn about the Dead 3.
As the lock opens, a loose page comes with it. Magic pulses from the
Kane
parchment.
asked, do I think a potential Oblivion
was once
remaster would fix
script
the
is
scaling
now an
issues? I think
obliterated
if you're going to
scroll.
make a
Have a sense these are names,
remake
a
for
list.
Oblivion, that would be like the number
of
one thing
what?
to fix. The mic is doubled. Not exactly
Gods,
doubled. I know what's
be the
wrong with it. I
last
haven't
three
had a chance
names
to
in
fix
this
it.
book
I'm
sit
aware. I don't
close
want to sit here and
together,
troubleshoot it.
But are so
I got it.
devastated by entire pantheons have dwindled and been
No traps, please.
Ah, Joshua says, just came to say you're the best, dude. Mad respect. I appreciate it. That's kind of you. I don't really bother to steal the scribe's weapons, but these guys all stand up here in a moment, and if you take the weapons from the warrior ones, that can be a little helpful. Do I follow sports at all? Not really. My dad and my brothers do like fantasy football and stuff, but I've never really gotten into it. Like, I'll watch the Super Bowl every year, but that's about it. And then, other than like big news that actually makes headlines, I don't pretend to follow it much. Do I tend to save scum or take rolls as they come? It kind of just depends on what I feel like doing that day. You know, what the current gameplay intent is. Like, if I'm on honor mode or something, obviously you can't save scum it. But then, you know, there are other times where it's like, I just kind of want to see where the proverbial dice fall, that kind of thing. But, you know, just kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for that day. Do I play chess? Not anymore. Used to a lot in high school, but that's probably a given how much of a nerd I am. Tempted to play First Berserker, but I never played Neo. I wouldn't say you need to play Neo to enjoy the First Berserker, but it's a challenging game. I'd try to know what you're getting into first. Alright. Now the main thing, as I recall, before I hit this button, like the main annoying thing about this fight is that it's dimly lit in here, so you have a poor chance to hit. And you can either light some of this stuff up or do it in combat to get slightly better chance to hit. Because otherwise these guys are in like half light and it's hard to target them. Still trying to figure out if you want to play half-orc Hexblade so you can show Will how a real Gish works. That is, unfortunately for Will, the downside of having the Hexblade in there. Because I usually play the Warlock, there's not a ton of reason for me to have him with me most of the time anyway. So it's really not helping his case any. Lostblade says, love the content. Think you're awesome. Appreciate it. Kind of you guys. Alright. So let's get a jump on this. No mods at the moment. I turned them off because of the new patch. Chomp said, hey, love the videos. Congrats on paying off your house. I appreciate it. That's kind of you. I actually paid it off a long time ago, at the start of 2024, like more than a year ago now. But yeah, it was a very big part of BG3 for me, for sure. Alright, try to move my melee guys up here. Can I? He's there. The range is always a little weird right here. Yeah, because it always wants to try to get you to move up and around, but sometimes you can target through those pillars if you line it up just right.
My faith will protect me.
It's probably a little overkill, to be honest.
Time to meet your maker.
We got to fight after this at the Druid Gate, so I want to try to save some of these spell slots if I can.
Where do I go from here? Very well.
Are there issues with mods for patch 8? Maybe the Nexus ones? So it's not, I mean, it was more just preventative on my end, so I just, in general, if a game gets a big update, you can pretty much expect the mods to probably be an issue. So I just went ahead and turned them off preemptively, just because I figured there would probably be a problem. So that, more just caution on my part, especially because I wanted to do this stream today.
What fools these mortals be. On my way.
What difficulty is this? It's on custom. I'm using the honor mode rule set, but also adjusted a bunch of other stats, so it's not like one of the presets. Man, I was hoping I would get a 5 on that just to take that guy out, but still pretty good. All the scribes will waste a turn moving in, and then the warrior will probably hit me. Joshua says, can't decide what to play for the new playthrough. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. 12 is a lot to add. This is just speculation on my end, but I really feel like those 12 new subclasses especially were probably something they had planned for that DLC they were working on that ultimately got scrapped. And then they just sort of salvaged it to put in this patch for free for, I mean, just because why not, obviously. You don't want that work to go to waste, but also the free PR is pretty easy. I'd have to assume that's probably why. That was a crazy pommel hit. That normally doesn't do that much damage, jeez. Oh, the bludgeoning. I forgot. Skeleton. I forgot that specifically is bludgeoning because of the pommel. That's why it did that. Rosso asking about the leaked images for the Oblivion remake. Yeah, I've seen it. I think the visual style was probably the only thing new that those screenshots would have really showed you. I mean, everything else, just the nature of it existing even, was kind of
Talk to me.
speculated at the very least already. So.
Let's do this.
Oh my god, that guy just does not want to die.
Time to strike.
No gloom, all doom.
There we go.
I will ascend.
Nothing will stand
Really
in my
debating whether
way.
or not to action surge, because then I won't have it later, and then I don't know how annoying those goblins are going to wind up being. I don't want to overextend on this fight for no
The gods
reason.
are watching me.
Thickolo says, going back to watch all your content. I appreciate it. A lot of the stuff I do, I think, is decently evergreen. Keeps the channel doing pretty well.
Fury, I am death.
In fact, I really don't have to worry too much about like how individual videos perform at this point, just because a lot of that old stuff does so well. I don't have to worry about it. Hopping out for the night, but thanks for the stream. I appreciate it. Have a good night, man. I probably won't be on too much longer myself, maybe 30-ish minutes or so. So, yeah, I guess I'll action surge. We'll have the short rest after this anyway, because Warlock spell slots now. And I'll probably, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I was like, probably gonna do it and then miss anyway. If I had to delete Wrath of the Righteous, BG3, or Oblivion from existence, which one would I pick? I mean, luckily, we live in a world where I don't have to choose, so I'm just not gonna. Just started Rogue Trader and have been watching your vids. I appreciate it. I did a lot of stuff for that. I kind of wanted to make a Pyromancer build for the Void Shadows release, but by the time I got around to it, I noticed that like exactly the thing I had in mind is like the thing everybody was doing, and I was like, well, now I don't want to feel like I copied somebody, you know? Seems kind of rude.
What's the plan? Onward.
Is my name really Mort? Yes, my name is in fact Mortem, literally and for real. My parents decided to name me the Latin word for death spelled with a Y. Hotel Vice says, first time seeing your face, big fan. I appreciate it.
Survival is all that matters.
Alright, where did... Yeah, actually, I hit one of you guys.
Let's get this over with.
Should kill you, and then I can come up here and kill him next turn, probably.
Let me recite their demise.
Oh, how's the Hex build so far? So far, so good. very strong in the early game, unsurprisingly, with the curse and everything.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
Bonus action, which gives you proficiency and stuff, and then they actually added the booming blade cantrip as well, so if something moves away from you, you get the attack of opportunity, and they take thunder damage and stuff, so there's all sorts of stuff you can do. And then the melee plus the Everburn blade and the proficiency from the curse, you hit super reliably, you hit pretty hard because it's two-handed. Pretty good time. Did I name my son post-mortem? You know, actually, I did not, in fact, name my son post-mortem, but that would have been hilarious. Did I enjoy doing the in-person interview a while back? Yeah, I talked about that a little bit earlier, but it was nice to just kind of get out of the house and talk to people about shared interests, you know?
A lot of effort to hide one sarcophagus.
We gotta save the Sword Coast, 100-hour adventure, in and out, let's go. Would I recommend DOS 2 or BG3 for a newcomer? Honestly, either one of them would be a pretty good place to start. If you are going to start on DOS 2, I would warn you that if you start just straight away, even on classic difficulty, it can be harder than you might think. It just takes a little bit of learning curve to it. So it's not like super hard or anything, but it's a common complaint people have. So in general, BG3 might be a little better in that regard, but I mean, either or would probably be fine. Egolo says later, Mort, it's bedtime. I appreciate you hanging out. Will I name my next child Scratch? I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I love my son very much, but I do not want more kids. So ideally, I won't be naming any more of them. Can I do a Pathfinder run where I explain every mechanic of the game for players? I made a 2-hour new player's guide for Wrath of the Righteous, which is entirely too long for a new player's guide, and I feel like I have nothing else to say.
And so thou step. What? Now, I have a question for thee. What is the worth of a single curie? Wilt thou answer my question? So, I ask again. What is the alive? Very well. We will. Alright,
cool. And now that we've got Withers, we can, here in a moment, go to camp and respec Shadowheart, as is tradition. I think my chair's hitting it, to be honest, but does not want to stay even for the life of me.
How long has it been?
What tattoos do I have? I have a lot of tattoos. Most of them I can't really show on stream. I actually enjoy being monetized. But I've got a bunch of skulls on my left arm, and then like a half sleeve on my left forearm. There's some stuff on my right forearm, my chest, my back. I've got a lot of tattoos. What domain are we going to give Shadowheart? Probably the new death domain, just because I want to try it. Normally, what I do is give her the Tempest Cleric, just because I really like that one too, but I want to check out the new death domain, so I'll probably go that route. Will Will get horns in this run? Maybe. I don't know. So that's the funny thing is, on my actual Will run, I went ahead and killed Karlach when I played with him like as my origin character, just for funsies, you know. So I've done both, but generally speaking, I enjoy the content of having Karlach around, so I will usually go ahead and spare her. Good evening, Mort. Did I ever reveal the origin of the channel name? I've revealed the channel name origins countless times, but for the sake of doing it again right now, Mortismo is just Mortem, which is what I've gone online by for decades at this point, and then I combined that with Abysmal because it was a joke with my friends that I would start a YouTube channel and just be god-awful at it.
Open the bloody gate!
So Mortem and Abysmal, Mortismal. The sort of inside joke that was funny to me 10 years ago that now I'm stuck with.
Here? Where is the druid? I got him! Shit! Damn no and suffer.
How many hours do I have in BG3? Like 550, give or take? Something like that. My thoughts on College of Glamour. It seems cool. I haven't actually messed around with it too much just yet, like in terms of how they've implemented it here. It's one of the ones I'm looking forward to checking out, though. I think off the top of my list, Hexblade's obviously first. Hey, what we have temp health, so we're gonna go ahead and just eat that.
My sickle and sword, strike them down!
What surprised me the most in terms of the new subclasses and positives and negatives? I haven't went through all of them in terms of like their implementation here, so I'm honestly a little unprepared to answer that question currently. But I am looking forward to finding out. I know they homebrewed a couple things, like there's the Hound of Ill Omen for, I think it's the Death Domain that I want to check out, because I don't think that's part of the Death Domain normally, off the top of my head. So that was a surprise, I suppose. My thoughts on the Blue Origin spaceship launch? My thoughts on that are that if it's not video games, I generally don't care very much.
Taking position.
I think what we'll try to do is kill this archer right next to us and then turn our attention down here. Always end up throwing Barbarian for Karlach, or using throwing Barbarian for Karlach. It's very strong. Yeah, it's a fun way to play. I did a build for Karlach as a Barbarian where I feel like in the video I was specifically like, I'm not doing throwing because it's so, like everybody does it. I don't want to do that again. But yeah, it's a fun way to play for sure. Would a 5-person team will outscale the game? Would a 5-person team be too much in BG3? I mean, yeah, definitely. It's scaled around 4 people. So I mean, even with D&D, you add a single other person, that's potentially hundreds of more damage in a round. So yeah, that would massively outscale the game.
Cut into the chase.
Alright, there's that, and then we are playing Hexblade, and we've got armor, so we're going to try to get a little bit closer here.
Got to concentrate. Got to press on.
Hexblade seems best in slot for multi-classing options. It's pretty strong. It's kind of like 2 levels in Fighter. It's pretty useful. And just head off to dinner. Thanks for chilling. I appreciate it. I probably won't be on too much longer myself. I just kind of wanted to hang out for a little bit. Do my once yearly live stream. All right. That one. Killing me, Lazo. Adam says, I saw the mental math on the 65 or the 75. I just don't trust Shadowheart generally when it comes to making attacks. like with her trickster domain, I already mentioned this, but I almost always just respec her to something else because of just the way her stats and stuff are laid out. She's just so unreliable. So anytime it's like, do I want to take the risk of her missing? Because she's probably gonna, you know?
You've made a grave mistake.
And I forgot to short rest to get my curse back, so I'm gonna have a hard time hitting that guy too.
What should I do?
Jackson says, first time you've seen your face. Varden Fellion says, is this saved on the channel later? Yeah, it'll be, you'll be able to watch it after the stream's over if you want to check it out later. I mean, we're not really doing anything crazy. I'm just answering questions and playing a little bit of the game. But if you would like to, for whatever reason, watch that later, it will be available, yeah. Alright, try to hit the bugbear like I missed, of course. And then the ward doesn't have too much health left. Hey, that was a good hit for him. Zevlor doing some work. Nice. There we go. Will was really struggling with that 9 HP goblin. Would I rather live in a world where only I have powers, or in a world where powers are common but you are a normie? Man, I'm a normal guy right now. It wouldn't be any different at all for me. Why would I not want to live in a world where everyone's life is better? Meta says missed. What a surprise. Exactly. Zoom says love the channel. Hope to catch happy to catch a stream. I appreciate it. They are very rare. All right. I suppose we can get Lazel down here at this point, because now we're just gonna have to start swinging away at this guy.
Nothing important is
I really should have short rested, but I was talking and not paying attention, and that would have made my chance to hit better here, because then I could have used curse or whatever. So now I'm just gonna have to deal with all these misses because my chance to hit's little. Any interest in collaborating with other content creators or prefer solo? So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily mind it. It has to be the right fit, I guess, would be my thing. I would say a pretty relaxed energy, and a lot of other content creators, just by the nature, especially the ones that stream a lot, are just like really high energy, and that's cool. No shade to them or anything, but like that's not really me, and being around people like that is just like, all right, take it easy, you know? So, I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but it's not exactly something I'm out here looking for either. Why don't I play a real RPG like Wizard 101? Wizard 101 is too hardcore for me, man. I like to keep it casual. I don't look like my voice. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do about that, but cool. Any thoughts on the new Mortal Kombat movie? Is there a new Mortal Kombat movie? I've not even heard about that. Alright. Just this guy left, and everyone has a really bad chance to hit the guy. So this is gonna take a second.
Life comes easy these days.
Or it'll be really quick. 50-50. Yeah, there you go.
That was the last of them. Inside! All of you! More may follow! Open the gates!
Scorch says, enjoying catching up on Divinity lore. I appreciate it, man. I'm kind of curious, obviously, if Larian is going to wind up making another Divinity game, and I am really curious then if, oh, no, crap. I forget those guys are stealing even when they're dead. But if they do wind up making a Divinity game, I'm curious how many people will find those old lore videos, because like they're pretty old. Like some of them are all right, but there are other ones where I'm like, oof, I'd probably do that differently, which is something I probably will do if they make another Divinity game. But still. When I did my original 100% run, Did I keep companion classes close to thematic styles, or did I start changing them beyond? I mostly, so if you look at my BG3 playlist, like all the builds and stuff that I made videos out of, those are usually, like, I actually use those. Those are, generally speaking, the builds that I would put on characters. So I would usually try to keep a little bit of a theme, just generally, like in regards to how I like to play, but I would almost always change their base build to some degree. Arcanesius donated $5. I've been watching you for a while, but recently heard about how your homelessness, or how I was homeless, and the channel success story. Congrats. I really appreciate it, man. That's kind of you. Yeah, that was, I mean, it was a really long time ago, in fairness. That was when I was like 15 to 17 is when all that happened, and I turned 32 next month. It's been a minute. But yeah, that was a rough time in my life for sure. Zoo Monkey says I feel odd making Lae'zel a wizard or Sork. Oh yeah, that's right. I had I think I had a build where I made Lae'zel like a storm sorcerer or something. Like, it's been a little minute, but I think that was a fun one. She would do crazy damage but have to rest all the time. James Lopez says, have I seen the YouTuber Co-Carnage? Seems pretty chill to play with, almost like y'all too. Yeah, he seems like a cool guy, man. He mostly streams from what I understand, which I don't do a lot of, but yeah, he seems like a cool guy. Ian says, do this more. You play well and have good commentary. I mean, I appreciate it, for starters. I try, but also, it's just, like, it's something I find very exhausting to do. Like, it's hard to split your attention between playing a game and then trying to talk to people and also focus, especially if you're actually trying to do something specific. And that tends to be the thing that keeps me from it. And then it doesn't help that a lot of times I'm playing games that I cannot show you until a certain date due to like embargoes and stuff. So it's like, even if I wanted to, I can't. And then by the time I could live stream it, I need to be doing something else anyway. So there's a lot of back and forth there. Would I like to see a Divine Divinity remake or remaster? I personally would love that. I don't know what the market is for it, but I assume just because it would be Larian doing it in the most likely circumstance that would probably do well, but yes, I would love that. Rob Jarrett says, have I heard or spread the word of our Lord and Savior Abelard Versarian? He's a great character, it's true. John Doe says, first time catching you live. Thanks for the content. I appreciate it. That's kind of you. Leveling up here, I usually take Cloak of Daggers for my level 2 spell. It's not very good comparatively, but I really do like Arms of Hadar just like as a spell, you know? And then they've added, I don't know what all class, I don't know if they've added like how much new stuff. I think Branding Smite is part of the Hexblade spell list, I want to say, off the top of my head. I don't remember. I know they get some smite spells, and then I'm actually playing as a Zerial Tiefling, which also gets a smite spell just as part of that, and then there's that, but as I said, I usually pick up that. And then, because we're playing Hexblade, and they've changed it, so if you want your second attack, you still have to pick Pact of the Blade instead of the others. How do I 100% games so quickly? I've made a whole video about that, man. It is a lot, and I will say it's actually been a little easier this year. What you might have noticed with like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Avowed, here within like the past 6 to 8 months, game developers and stuff have been giving me review copies like weeks in advance, which has been way easier for me. So there is that. Am I playing Expeditions 33? I can't say anything about that right now, which might very well be the answer you're looking for. How about live streaming with Tim Kaine? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen him live stream, to be honest. I know he's happy to do like interviews and stuff, but that would be pretty cool. All right. Okay, so this is tough because if you know me at all, I love Battlemaster. Battlemaster is such a great subclass. You don't need to do like multi-classing anything. It's just naturally really, really good. But also, Arcane Archer is new, and I do want to try it. But if I do that, I'm almost certainly going to have to respec her into dexterity for the bow and everything. So that's something to think about. For right now, because I'm honestly not going to be streaming much longer, we're just going to throw on Battlemaster, I think. But Arcane Archer is one of the subclasses I really want to mess around with, and I think as a result of that, I'm going to wind up probably respecking Lae'zel here at some point and maybe seeing what I can do with it. But Battle Master is just generally my favorite. All right, riposte pushing is really good, and then I usually pick up a few of these, but right here at level 3, I kind of like trip attack. Just generally, it's not super good compared to some of these, and then I like menacing because of the frighten. That can be situationally really useful, and then distracting strike isn't even that bad because of the advantages and stuff, and then I think for right now I'll pick up precision just for the damage, though. Any tips to follow in the footsteps of 100%? Play games you enjoy, man. So here's the thing. I do such a weirdly specific thing for this channel that, like, if that in any way gets in the way of how you enjoy games, just don't, you know? Play games the way you enjoy them. You don't need to 100% everything you do. I mean, if you watch the channel, I don't even 100% everything. There's stuff that I just do like retrospectives on. Assassin's Creed Shadows, I think I did most everything, but the achievements weren't in the game when I was playing it, so I just kind of let that one go. I think realistically the biggest tip I could give you, if that's something you would want to get into, is just know when to stop. Don't beat yourself up about it. Danny says hello, Mortician. Hello, how's it going? Do I like lore enough to write my own? I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. Like, that's not really my strong suit, but like I have considered writing stuff and trying to like branch out into that, just like generally, because I think it would be something cool to experience. But it's also the kind of thing I don't have any experience with, so I wouldn't want to presume, you know. All right. This doesn't matter because I'm going to wind up respeccing her too, so we'll just pick whatever. Want to get into Baldur's Gate, but don't like turn-based. Is the combat the main draw or the narration? I mean, realistically, this game is as much about the story as it is combat, and like just all the little interactions and outcomes you can set up and facilitate. So, I mean, if you don't like the combat and you just want to throw it on story to experience everything else the game has, that's a perfectly valid way to play. Alright, I really like Cloak of Daggers, and I guess I'll just grab Mirror Image for the, or no, I need somebody with Misty Step actually. So we'll grab that for right now. Know when to stop is good advice. I would like to think so. It's... Oh, game froze up on me. I gotta come back. There it goes. Sometimes when I'm streaming or recording this game, it tends to struggle a little bit, but... Yeah, I don't know. That's the kind of thing that's different for everybody, but I think knowing your limits will take you a long way in life.
There are children here, you fool!
We was running for our life.
You led them straight to us, and you let them take the druid too? Unbelievable!
We lost him back at the ruins.
He trusted you.
Nobody forced him to go with us. He insisted. And when things got tough, he couldn't.
My
Or says
God,
evening. Good evening to you too.
The
Just started playing Elix. Any spoiler-free
He's
tips?
about to blow.
Do the quests in the cities first, the generally non-combat stuff. Get some experience under your belt before you try to explore. Elix is punishing if you try to actually go do stuff out in the wilderness before you're ready. So just try to do the city stuff first, and then do that. If you don't like the combat, play a bard. Yeah, fair enough. Do I keep Scratch around? Yeah, I usually like keeping Scratch around. He's fun. Warlock Intimidate, always a good one. And then we can even use our own Thaumaturgy alongside that, so it'd be kind of embarrassing if we didn't get that roll.
Enough! Squabbling is pointless.
At least we...
More goblin vermin could be on their way.
I'm more worried about this parasite than a few
Alright, we'll go save the lady with the telescope. Got a short rest before I keep forgetting about it. Everyone's over here dealing with that dead body. Sometimes, yeah, there she goes. I was like, she usually walks away and comes over here to talk to these guys a lot of times, and then that actually gives you an opportunity to rob everything over here. Pretty consequence-free if you want to. But there's really only one thing worth stealing, which is right there. Bunch of gold in that little sack. Who's that person in the lower right corner? I have no idea. Sounds like an imposter. Well, I do 100% of GTA 6. People keep asking me about GTA 6, which is fair, but I keep trying to explain to people that that game is not coming to PC right away, and until it does, I have no plans to play it at all. So, I mean, maybe eventually, but I wouldn't expect it around launch time for sure. Alright. Of course, he's a little too far away. Why wouldn't he be? Alright, we'll probably rest, or I mean, at least I will, before I wind up leaving the grove. So I think, just because he's survived, we'll drop a cloud of daggers.
I am fury. I am death. On the move. Can't afford to let up. Onward.
Where'd Gale go? Where's Gale? Holy crap, Gale, come on, man. I didn't even notice he was missing from that goblin fight because I was talking so much. See, that's exactly the kind of thing when I'm telling people. I get distracted just talking instead of paying attention to what's going on when I am streaming and everything. And stuff like that happens. Did I ever play Star Control 2? I have not. Is there a genre of game that having the channel has gotten around to playing that I wouldn't enjoy? I would say that while I don't necessarily enjoy like playing them still a ton, I appreciate 4X games a lot since I have started doing this as a channel and everything. I really like to watch people play Stellaris, but I don't enjoy playing Stellaris. I really like playing Solium Infernum when I have the occasional bit of time to do so. So that's a genre I've really come around on. I am not very good at it, mind you, but it's cooler than I initially gave it credit for sure. Poor Gale wasn't athletic enough. Yeah, he didn't make the jump up there, and I just was talking and completely left him behind. And then that goblin fight's not exactly challenging, so I just didn't even notice. Would I rather another top-down game in PoE universe or Tyranny? Oh, Pillars of Eternity, for sure. Don't get me wrong, I like Tyranny, but I like Pillars of Eternity a lot more than that. Not even a question.
Can't give up. Not now.
Least favorite character, Astarion. For me, I would probably say Astarion. I will say that playing him as my origin character when I was doing 100%, I came to appreciate his story a lot more, but like just general personality-wise, he is probably my least favorite.
You have good timing.
David
Never
says,
been
love
much
your
of a
reviews.
fighter,
One of the
so
few
wrestling
reviewers
a
whose opinion I
bugbear would
trust.
have
I
gone
appreciate, man. That's kind of you.
Poorly. But you're not here for heroics,
This
are
or
you?
Wrath. So
Avernus,
I've
let me
actually
guess.
talked about this back when the game
Your devil
released,
mistress
but
sent you to get her
I
soul coin back.
enjoy
Too
the
bad.
gameplay
I
of
earned it
Pathfinder
fair and
1E
square.
more than 5th edition D&D.
That
So while I
bloody here
think
it is.
Baldur's Gate 3 has the
Devil.
better actual
Here.
gameplay, personally I prefer the system from Wrath of the Righteous more, so it kind of just wins out for me.
Onward.
Yeah, it's a big spot. Alright. finally made it to the Grove. We can go talk to some people. I think I'm going to be wrapping up here soon. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to hang out and talk to some people for a little while. But I think what we'll do is make our way down to the actual Grove and then handle Kaga with the little girl and see how that goes from there. Jack P donated $13.99 Canadian, I believe, and I appreciate that. Said keep making great videos. I appreciate the content and insights. That's very kind of you. I don't plan on going anywhere, so hopefully I will be around for some years to go yet.
Thank you for your help.
Never thought I'd see the day. Love your vids. I appreciate that. That's kind of you.
Well met. Whatever your... This attack will only strengthen their resolve.
Oh, my cat's running around. You guys might hear some meows. Oh, the dog heard me petting her, so now he's coming too. Hey, buddy. Sorry, guys. Animals are running around. All right.
There have been... We can't stay, but we'll be slaughtered if we leave. Perhaps you could persuade...
Setting up the conflict between the tieflings and the druids.
If nothing else.
I think you should.
We'd owe you a great... You'll find...
Tofu Monk says, can't wrap my head around the Pathfinder system. Yeah, it's complicated for sure. I've talked about that a lot as well. It's not exactly newcomer friendly. Would I play the Persona games? I've considered it here and there. They seem time consuming, which is what has kept me from doing it for the most part. That was this cat and dog cam win. I actually thought my cat might want to jump in my lap, which I was going to show her to the camera if she did, but they both ran off, so. David Pittman donated $5. No message, though. I appreciate it.
No one in years and
throw it in chat if you had something to say, though.
Well met. Is there anything you need? Act fast if you do. The ritual will be complete before too long.
You can sell a bunch of this junk we've been picking up, which isn't worth much, but I'm kind of collecting everything. Spill all the beans on Star Wars Zero Company. People want to know. That's that tactics game that was recently announced for Star Wars, and it looks pretty fun. I think they're supposed to have a showcase for it on May the 4th, I think. I don't think this guy has anything I need. At least not currently. At least nothing that I remember. Because you got the throw damage for the throw build, and I want to say that's all that he had that was interesting. Like, the axe is decent for one-handed, but I'm using two-handed, of course, and then I think that was pretty much it. Love your videos, but time-consuming is like your thing, dude. Dominate those games that are 60+ hours. Don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, I'm not necessarily like the thing about games that are like 100+ hours. I don't have a problem with doing that, but like you have to plan for them. And stuff like Persona 5, for instance, that's the one people really want to see from me. And from what I understand, that is a very time-consuming game. So I'd have to do like a bunch of planning and fit it into schedules and stuff. So I never say never. I'll probably get around to it eventually, but it's a lot, and thus I haven't gotten around to it. Still need to play Alcat's Pathfinder games. Yeah, they're very good. I sincerely hope we'll get another Pathfinder game specifically from them. I'd say it'd probably wind up being 2E if they do make another one. But we'll see what happens.
I care about our lives, our futures.
No, you just care about your stupid hell.
I'll not. Can we? What? Oh, yell louder.
I can convince Roland and his people to hang out.
This.
Just thank you,
Just because we're a tiefling, we don't have to roll for.
If we could at least make a run for
Come up here and meet Will, Blade of the Frontiers.
Go on. Give me a best shot. Not bad.
Do warlocks still get extra attack at level 5? They still get it if they pick Pact of
You
the Blade.
just
I
have to buy
assume it
enough
still
time
stacks
to
with the
run.
others, but I haven't checked just yet.
Come on. I believe in you. Well met.
The man you are the
But we haven't sprouted.
your mind's
Shit!
Advocatus Diaboli, a devil's advocate.
That ship sailed the Styx already. Her name is Karlak. I tracked her. She's out there now, preying on the innocent. I don't kill her, she'll leave behind nothing but a trail of corpses. But
Alright, we can send him to the
I'd
camp.
love to join, but I don't think a splendid plan.
Lae'zel's got to talk to Zoru over here.
By Mordai's eyes. Another one. My friend's blood not enough.
How many gigabytes of
Come to rip
footage
me
do I
open
have
too.
on my drives? Oh, terabytes, man.
Is this monster with you?
I have a lot. I have... So the main thing I keep is the footage of the actual reviews, and then what I can do is take those review footage and just mute it, and then use those in the background of other videos that I make to edit with. So just all of those reviews, especially now that I post most of them in 4K, I mean, it's just terabytes of data. Do I legit believe this is the final patch? I think it's the final content patch, yeah.
Lower.
No twisting. Kin must have been in a hurry.
Oh.
The map.
Aruna says, hey, Mortem, longtime fan from Malaysia. I appreciate it. Always cool to see people hanging out. How do I determine how much time to devote to 100% of games since you keep a schedule? I mean, it takes as long as it takes for starters, but you can usually get an estimate from a variety of places. People usually ask the devs how long things are going to take. So you can kind of take that number and then kind of just, adjust as necessary. And then the nice thing about playing old games is, there's a pretty dedicated, like, this is usually how long this thing takes. Depending on some other factors, you might be able to do it a little faster, especially if there's like guides for things already. So there's a few different ways you can kind of figure it out. Especially once you've done so many of them, you kind of just get a feel for how long something's going to take you.
You ought to reconsider keeping her around before she causes real trouble.
Cockroach. The tiefling was clear. I am unfamiliar. You will educate me on matters of this Fey runt. By covenant, I can say no more.
Pat says, oh no, I've seen your face, and pulled back the cloth of imagination. So it would seem. If Owlcat made VG4, I would lose my mind. I mean, I get why you would say that, but I don't envy anybody making Baldur's Gate 3 that is not just Larian. Or Baldur's Gate 4, rather, sorry. I think it's definitely possible that they do make one, but that's a tough act to follow, man.
Open up.
You ain't gonna shoot me. Your hands are shaking.
Put it down.
That's the point.
She didn't kill you.
Shoot before you lose your nerve, Tiefling. If you ever had it to begin with.
You move.
We'll save Saza because you get some extra content if you keep her alive, but
Why do you care if a goblin
there's
lives
actually
or
an
dies?
achievement for keeping her alive as long as possible, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a little while.
If you believe
It's all right, Arca. Let's go.
You're gonna be sorry. They're gonna burn this pretty
But if you
place for the
can
devil.
free her,
Got a hop to
she'll
probably stick.
Booyah.
give you the sort of lead into
Goblin
the
word for
bad
magic.
guy side of this conflict.
Primitive to a fault, but
Get me out of here, and I'll tell you where to find her. Deal? Then I...
believe it or not, but I witnessed a similar
Mortimer,
standoff back at the
right.
Yawning Portal. Of course, an establishment like that invites all sorts of outlandish entertainments. An inn in what leads into the Undermountain, you see. Full of... oh, maybe... in any case,
Ugh, my
Out
dog
came
sees
the
another dog
crossbow,
outside, I think.
and a hush fell over the entire room. The crap in a plate, mind you. Drink.
Alright. I'm going to start wrapping it up. I think 9 was about where I wanted to leave it. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go down here, skip ahead a little bit, and talk to Kaga. I'll probably go ahead and save it, but we'll go have the confrontation with Kaga and see if we can save the child or not. And hopefully I won't end the stream on a really depressing note of her not making it. Have I always streamed? No, I stream very rarely. Like maybe once a year.
Let my daughter go right now!
She's a thief, help.
Oh, let me through, Ragrasham, or I'll rip your damn throat out!
Alright, get stopped.
Come, man. You, step back. Go join the other tieflings. Keep back.
A moment.
What? You? Apparently Korga wants to see you. Go ahead.
Alright, let's go see if I can save this kid or not.
Better not be cursed.
James says so far I streamed twice this year. Did I stream twice? I feel like the last time I streamed was Rogue Trader, and that was November, I think. I don't remember streaming another time than that, but who knows?
Please. I'm sorry.
This is madness, Korga. She's just a...
A what, Wrath? A thief? A poison? A threat? I will imprison the devil, and I will cast out the rest.
But
she's a
just
parasite.
a child.
She eats our food, drinks our water, then steals our most holy idol in thanks. Wrath, lock her up. She remains here until the rite is complete. And keep still, devil. Tila is restless.
Come, Korga. We took back the idol. Surely...
Do it.
So, just a little side story about this. When I first saw this scene back during early access was not long after I had become a father. My son had been born, and I got almost embarrassingly looking back upset about this scene. It really, I was like, man, fuck this. I am not playing this right now. Funny how games can get to you like that sometimes, but we'll see if we can make the. Oh yeah, I have a detect thoughts roll. Now, if we fail this, I think she attacks, and I don't have inspiration. Oh, no, I do have inspiration. Okay. So this will make the roll a little easier.
I am first druid now. I will take control and prove my authority.
Oh, he says, good, man. Catch you on the next review. I appreciate you hanging out, man. Lucas says, greetings from Brazil. Nice to see you. Appreciate it. I always enjoy hearing where people are from. Now that we passed that detect thoughts, I don't think we need to pass another check because you can just use that.
Child.
Yeah.
Take to the others word of my grace. Sif, Tila, to me.
It hurts.
Welcome says we knew Boot Goofin or
Master
what?
Halsin
We are.
Halsin isn't
We've just
here.
been goofing. You know,
Keep
just
his
hanging
name
out,
off
just doing a
your
little
tongue,
goofing. Little new
lest
Boot
Tila
Goofin.
pierce it.
Alright, well. In what can only be deemed as probably best for everyone, I did not finish this out by accidentally having a child killed on stream, so I think that's as good a place as any to wrap it up. I just kind of wanted to play this a little bit because of the new patch and hang out and talk for a little while, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Sorry for the mic, I know that was a little rough. If I streamed more, I would be up to date on fixing that, but for the moment, I think that's pretty much going to do it. It's 9 p.m. here, so I got a few things to wrap up. I want to play a little Daggerfall too before I go to bed, but that's going to be it. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for watching, supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. I like to pop my head in here every once in a while. But again, just thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed the patch. Let me know what you think about it. Otherwise, see you guys next time. Oh, sorry. May you wander in wisdom. I'm sure somebody will want to hear that. Have a good one, guys.